When ESA astronaut Claudie Nyerere lifts off from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to begin her 10-day space mission, she'll not just become the first European woman to visit the International Space Station. During her 8 days on board the ISS, Claudie will carry out a comprehensive program of scientific experiments managed by the French space agency CNES. The packed schedule means she'll need to work hard to give herself time to contemplate the beauty of the Earth through one of the windows of the ISS, or to socialize with her American and Russian crew members. Docking at the ISS is scheduled for 10:43 GMT on the 23rd of October, 50 hours after liftoff. Claudie Nyerere is the first non-Russian woman to be assigned as Soyuz flight engineer. Whilst en route to the ISS, strapped onto the left of the 3 seats inside the capsule in her flight suit, she will be eagerly awaiting the docking, when she'll finally have more space to move around inside the station. Between docking and the entry of the crew into the station, the conditions for the safe opening of the connecting hatch are checked, a procedure which takes 90 minutes, or 1 revolution of the ISS in its orbit 400 kilometers above the Earth. Most of the equipment for the experiments which Claudie Nyerere will supervise was moved to the ISS in a Progress cargo vessel a few weeks ago. On Tuesday the 23rd of October, she'll be busy installing and preparing these experiments, adding the equipment and samples she carried into space in the Soyuz capsule. The experiments include Aquarius, which involves observing and recording on video the development of eggs and larvae of 2 different amphibians under zero-gravity conditions. The samples will be returned to Earth for further analysis. Cogni is a neuroscience experiment to study the cognitive process of orientation and navigation in 3D. By looking at the response of the gravity-sensitive organs in the inner ear, the experiment will observe how astronauts cope when orienting themselves in the gravity-free conditions of the ISS. The experiment is designed to give us a better understanding of the inner ear as part of our neurosystem. For the Cogni experiment, Claudie Nyerere will use her fellow Russian crew members Viktor Afanasyev and Kay Koziv as guinea pigs on the 24th and 28th of October. As a trained medical doctor with extensive research experience, she is in an ideal position to perform these complex experimental tasks. The LSO experiment involving lighting and sprites observation is scheduled to run throughout this mission. On Saturday the 27th of October, Claudie Nyerere will reconfigure it, a task she's been training for in Toulouse. This experiment will study the interaction in the higher atmosphere during thunderstorms, and though short, will help to check the parameters of a future microsatellite to study these phenomena in greater detail. A whole series of experiments have also been proposed by students who will be involved in them from Earth. Also, the Cogni and Aquarius experiments will be performed on the ground in schools, with assistance by the laboratories that design the experiments carried out in space by Claudie Nyerere. The science program of the Andromède mission managed by CNES includes a total of 10 experiments, the maximum number that can be fitted into a busy week. As early as the 29th of October, preparations for the return to Earth will start on the ISS. Samples and data from the experiments will be transferred into the Soyuz capsule, ready to return to Earth with the crew, whilst the last experiments are finalized. The last video recordings for Aquarius will be taken just minutes before the hatch closure and undocking of the capsule on Tuesday, the 30th of October. In the early morning hours of Wednesday, the 31st of October, the Soyuz capsule will land in the desert of Kazakhstan. Europe's citizens will have seen the first European woman visit the ISS, and scientists across Europe will be eagerly awaiting the first experimental samples and data returned to Europe from the ISS.